G'day, it's fugitive Australian journalist Shane Dowling from the website kangaroocourtofaustralia.com. Now, former New South Wales Deputy Premier John Barilaro has had a bad start to the week. He's been ordered by a court to pay a cameraman $10,000 or more than $10,000 plus legal costs for damaging that camera. And we'll have a look at the video in a minute just to jog our memory. And the week could get worse because on Thursday, the New South Wales Independent Commission Against Corruption is handing down or publishing their Keppel report, Operation Keppel. And I know for a fact, and we'll have a look at that video in a minute, that the New South Wales Independent Commission have received a formal complaint in relation to John Barilaro allegedly perjuring himself when he gave evidence in 2021. But let's deal with the small claims court judgment against John Barilaro, which was on Monday, the 26th. Now, I put in the title that it's a win for Friendly Geordies because Friendly Geordies apparently funded it, which would piss John Barilaro off in a major way. And I'll just read you out what the article said in relation to the matter. Now, Matthew Costello is a cameraman. He's been awarded $10,473 in the local court small claims division in New South Wales. And Barilaro must pay interest on the amount, which is yet to be determined, as well as court costs and legal costs. And he was ordered to pay within 28 days. If they can't come to an agreement on the court or the legal costs, they'll probably be back in court. The court costs would be fixed. And it's also worth noting that Barilaro was charged with assaulting the cameraman back in August, assault and malicious damage, but both charges were dismissed on mental health grounds in February. So old John played the old mental health card, but only a few months ago he was trying to apply for the role of CEO of Clubs New South Wales. So he's good enough to be the CEO of Clubs New South Wales, but he's got mental health issues, so he can't be charged for assault or can't show up to defend an assault charge. But I'll play the video now in relation to the night in question.
Good evening. Former Deputy Premier John Barilaro is now being investigated by police for allegedly assaulting a cameraman. Mr Barilaro says all he did was push the camera away, upset, he claims, at being treated like a criminal over his appointment to a $500,000 a year job in New York.
It's not New York, but it's not bad. Saturday afternoon at the Wharf Bar Manly, and the low-profile John Barilaro is spotted by fellow patrons. 4 hours later, he emerged.
Mr Barilaro, Channel 7 News. Are you disappointed that the Labor is blocking your appearance before the public inquiry?
Yeah, look, it's a night out, mate. It's all good.
For weeks, the former Nationals leader has been at the centre of a parliamentary inquiry and highly damaging allegations about his $500,000 New York posting, insisting he wanted to tell his side of the story, but not on Saturday night. At one point, the microphone was seized and thrown into the bushes. Then, when a second freelance camera arrived on the scene, tensions rocketed. Mr Barilaro paced towards him, lunges for the camera, his hands raised, but he walked. The cameraman followed, at which point Mr Barilaro's friend, believed to be a former media officer, also jumped in, followed by the 50-year-old. Freelance cameraman Matt Costello says he was shaken and astonished.
I was scared. You can't behave like that, no matter who you are.
The cameraman said Mr Barilaro, a former deputy premier and career politician, would have handled thousands of encounters with media and knows how to say no comment and keep walking. But from Mr Barilaro,
so I'm being absolutely intruded on and harassed. I'm a private citizen. I left politics last year.
But police are now investigating possible assault. Mr Costello says his camera was broken and his back's been injured.
All I did was push a camera out of my way, did not manhandle an individual.
I was there doing a job, as I'm entitled to do in a public place.
Now, this is what Matthew Costello's lawyers had to say. Xenophon Davis. We had a win today for cameraman Matt Costello against John Barilaro for damage to his camera in a confrontation at Manly Wharf. The court found that Costello's evidence was credible and that it was difficult to accept John Barilaro's account in face of the video evidence that was played in the court. $10,500 for damages to gear plus costs, thanks to counsel Anna Elizabeth and Friendly Geordies for funding the case. Now, I just did a video in relation to Operation Keppel, with the judgment being handed down on Thursday. Daryl Maguire, the former boyfriend of former New South Wales Premier Gladys Berejiklian, was hit with new charges on Monday, the 26th, for giving false and misleading evidence to the New South Wales ICAC, in effect perjury. And that's really set the benchmark. I regard it as setting the benchmark for potential other charges against other people, e.g. Potential perjury against Gladys Berejiklian, but also John Barilaro. Because as I said, I wrote an article about 12, 18 months ago. I think it was actually December 2021. And the title of the article was John Barilaro accused of perjury regarding his alleged multiple affairs and evidence sent to the New South Wales ICAC. And I'll put a link to that article below this video on the YouTube account. But I'll play that video now where John has allegedly perjured himself. And you'll see in the video where John Barilaro is asked 3 times about intimate personal relationships, and he keeps on ducking and weaving. But the last time it really stumps him, and he goes and and oh, that's a hard question to answer. Well, it wasn't a hard question to answer. It was very easy.
Conflict of interest that I believe is a concern was that Ms. Berejiklian and Mr. Maguire were in a relationship.
Mr. Barilaro, over your time in Parliament, did you disclose to the Premier all intimate personal relationships that you had?
I would have, yes.
When you say you would have, did you do so?
Well, I suppose on applicant interest forms, we've got to disclose assets or income or connections to trusts that include family members like my wife or my kids or other family members. Those disclosures are done in accordance to the ministerial code.
What about any other intimate personal relationships, Mr. Barilaro?
I don't think that is a normal. That's a hard question because my relationship with my family. So that's a hard one to disclose.
So the week started off pretty badly for John Barilaro on Monday. He would have hated the fact that Friendly Jordies has funded that court case against him. Obviously, Friendly Jordies have a lot of a history. And I'll put a link to an article I published about that 12 months ago or so in relation to the defamation case. John Barilaro sued Friendly Jordies for defamation. Friendly Jordies raised over $1 million. They settled for roughly $100,000. And Google was meant to fight that claim, but they ended up folding. Long story, Google ended up paying John Barilaro something like $715,000 plus costs. I don't think they should have paid him anything. I think he's a perjurer. I think he's a liar. And I think history has shown that. Certainly the local court in New South Wales didn't believe John Barilaro. So the fact that Friendly Jordies has paid for a court case where John Barilaro is in effect found to be a liar, well, I think John Barilaro will be stewing over that for a long time. Now, obviously, John Barilaro's week has started off pretty poorly, and it could be getting a lot worse on Thursday when the New South Wales Independent Commission Against Corruption give the Operation Keppel report to the government. He might be facing perjury charges for that. And when the Operation Keppel report is made public, I'll do another video and maybe an article as well. In Kangaroo Court of Australia's independent media, I publish a website, YouTube channel, Facebook page and Twitter account. And I'm 100% crowdfunded, so please support my Patreon account. I'm currently sitting on 258 patrons, donating $1,532 a month. And I really need to get up to at least 500 patrons to become financially viable. So please support that. You can donate any amount, $3, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30, $40, $50, whatever suits your budget, and all helps out. And please share this video on Facebook and Twitter, etc. Thank you for your time and have a good day.